In 1 Peter 1, verses 24 and 25, it says this: "All people are like grass, and all their glory is like the flowers of the field. The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of the Lord endures forever." The Apostle Peter is quoting here the wisdom of the prophet Isaiah concerning what endures, what lasts in this world, and what doesn't. And he says that all people and all their glory, all their accomplishments are really pretty much like the grass of the field or the flowers. They wither, they fall. They're here today and they're gone tomorrow. We live in a time where we are a part of a 24-hour news cycle that's really over-sensationalized. Have you noticed that every other story seems to be billed as shocking or as a bombshell? And because we're so connected online, it's easy for us to get even more wrapped up in that news cycle, interacting with other people about the issues or even arguing with them, sometimes at all hours of the day or the night. And living in that cycle can really make us anxious at times. But have you noticed that the news comes and goes, and that most of those stories that seem so important just fade away in time? It's also really easy for us to get wrapped up in and anxious about our personal concerns. And while some of our personal concerns surely are important, a lot of them are really not as important as we seem to think they are at the time. Over my life, I have journaled at different periods. And one of the things that's always struck me is when I go back and I read those old journals, I often see how wrapped up in, how concerned, even worried I was about issues that now seem like nothing to me. Or in some cases, I can't even remember what they were that had me so worried, concerned, and anxious. And realize that as big as our concerns seem from day to day, many of them really aren't so big, that they too come and go, and most of them fade away. But God's word, Peter says, endures forever. It lasts. It doesn't wither or fall. And that means that God's word is able to guide and to ground us in our lives in a way that we really need, because we live in such a tumultuous time of things that come and go. And the reason that God's word is able to do these things is because that God's word is inextricably linked to God. God is present in his word. And so when we are looking to God's word to ground and to guide us, we are really looking to God himself to do those things for us. And God is a rock. God is a solid foundation. God endures and is able to bring us stability in the middle of a crazy, chaotic world. So when we find ourselves getting worried about the news of the day or nervous about our concerns of our lives, we need to remember that most of that stuff is like the grass of the field or the flowers of the field that will fall and will wither, that they are here today and gone tomorrow. And we need to hold on to God's word, which endures forever. So may we let God's word ground and guide us as we navigate this life.